Chuck and Terri here.
And today we're going to show you how we framed and spray foamed our van.
So we are challenging ourselves significantly here on this build, trying to gain every inch of space, and that's going to create some significant challenges for us. And so we've created this bracing here. We've removed the metal bracing. After installing the windows, we're putting wood and PVC bracing up here, PVC next to the windows, so they don't create any water issues. Plus it's clean. Once it's trimmed out, it'll be clean looking, and we won't have to paint it. We've got two done. The backs, which will be really important because that gives us extra leg room for the bed, as the bed will be sideways. But most people don't do that up here, which is going to be a significant challenge. I know we're only just gaining a few inches here, but every inch helps. So Terri's putting this first one in. Using stainless steel angle brackets here.
Thank you. I'm not left-handed.
So basically 3/4 inch boards here. Cut, the bottoms are like 15 to 18 degrees and the tops are I don't know, somewhere between like 8 degrees, somewhere in that range. Cut to fit that space.
Left-handed doesn't work for me very well.
So we'll add glue to the back of these. They get really super strong. They get really strong. This is actually, I would say, stronger than the steel. I mean, it's really sturdy. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's finish her out. We used a lot of this white PVC, which is actually lighter than the wood, or about the same amount of weight. It probably has more insulating power, but around the windows, we're concerned about potential sweating, which you see in a lot of campers, where the condensation starts to build up. And with the PVC, you won't have the molding or the rotting of the wood, so that's the reason we're using PVC. Plus, after we get it all the walls in, we don't want there to be, edges that we have to paint. There we go. Construction. So now we're actually masking off before we go out and spray foam, and everything that we're masking are areas that we want to have bare metal. So we're just getting ready to foam. The whole idea here, we've masked everything, is to get any metal that is exposed to the outside, or single wall metal is what I'm planning to cover. Masked off all the windows, the ceiling vent. I'm going to focus on about 1 inch of insulation, all on the exposed surfaces or single wall steel. When I first started spray foaming, I had actually done this twice before in my house, and I started out way too close, so I'm probably 3-4 inches from the steel, and now we're at 2x speed here, but I started realizing you need to pull it out about 8 to 12 inches, somewhere in that range, and it actually is much better. But I know it looks like I'm doing a really thin coat, but it does expand quite a bit. Actually, I used just a thin coat, but I actually, after I was all done, I still had some left. I was able to come back at some of the surfaces and respray, which is actually the way you're supposed to do it, so that you have a nice closed cell foam surface, and then you spray a second coat. And I did most of that on the ceiling.
And then you got into some of the grooves too that you hadn't been able to get into on the first coat.
What's really nice is if you have a second person there, and if the second person is Terri, all the better, because she can point out all those little spots that you missed. And quite frankly, that is really important, because once you start going here, it's really quick. The masking, and then quite frankly, the taking of the tape off later is all the work. This part was really quick, and it was this day was around 90 degrees. It has to be a minimum of 75 degrees. The van needs to be 75 degrees. The material inside the box, we're using Dow froth pack here, 200 square foot, the 200 square foot box, which is just enough for the Promaster. Now we're not doing any doors here, but it covers just enough. It's actually about $350, which is actually fairly affordable. And the rigidity is outstanding once it's done. Originally, I said that I wouldn't spray the double wall steel, but once I got into it, I just kept going.
It was too hard to go around it.
Yeah. And I think it'll be fine. You have about 15 seconds between sprays. If you go any longer, it'll actually solidify inside the nozzle, which you don't want. But if you do, the kit comes with several nozzles you can replace. Just about finished here with the first coat. I do come back. Terri backs off here with the camera because she didn't want to get sprayed, but I come back after it cures, do a few more, or just a little bit more coating. And again, as I mentioned before, the taping, I thought this would be like a 10-minute job, taking all the tape off. What was this? 45 minutes?
I always think things are going to take less time than they do.
This was like 45 minutes, and every edge of the tape you have to slice with a knife to remove it. It is a significant time constraint here, but we spent a lot of time making sure that we meticulously removed the tape.
So we finished framing and we finished spray foaming, and then we took it a spin around the block, and oh my God, it is amazing. It is so much more quiet, as well as it feels sturdier and stronger, and I don't know, it just feels better. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll be doing more. I don't know what we'll be doing next, but we'll be doing something. Hey, you just